everyone, it's Delaney and I'm back with another art project. So this week we're going to be making sun catchers that you can hang outside your window out of tissue paper, and in the end they'll look something a little like this. And so the things you'll need are some tissue paper. You can use whatever color you like. You'll need wax paper. You'll also need scissors, some glue. You'll need liquid glue, not a glue stick, a paintbrush, and a pencil. So gather all your materials and we'll get started. Alright, so let's get started. So the first thing you're going to need are some tissue paper. Now you can use whatever color that you like for this. I have some blues and greens here. And I already pre-cut them into the little squares, but that'll be your very first step. I just cut them out just to make this go a little faster. But they just need to be small little squares of tissue paper in whatever color that you like. I have some dark blues, light blues, and greens, but again, you just need a few and set them off to the side. The second thing you're going to need is some wax paper. You'll just need a small sheet. You'll need scissors, some glue. I suggest using liquid glue as opposed to a glue stick. You'll need a paintbrush, a pencil, and then also maybe somewhere to put the liquid glue. That could be a little cup or a paper plate. I have part of a paper plate here, but use whatever you like. So your first step is going to be to cut out all your pieces of tissue paper. They could just be in little squares just like this. Try to make them smaller so that you can fit more colors into your little collage that you'll make. But they don't have to be tiny either. They could be just about the size of maybe your finger. Doesn't matter. So you're going to set those off to the side, and you're going to pour out some of your glue onto the paper plate or cup that you have so that you can brush it on with your paintbrush onto the wax paper and stick the pieces of tissue paper. So I'm just going to undo the liquid glue here, put some onto my paper plate. It doesn't have to be a lot. You could always add more later, so start small. And once I have that, I'm going to take my paintbrush, get a little bit of the liquid glue, and then start spreading it onto the wax paper. It'll be a little tough to spread, but that's okay because you'll only do a little bit at a time. So once you have a little bit on the sheet, you're going to take one of your tissue paper squares and press it right into where you spread the glue. And then you're just going to take some more glue and then spread some on the edges of that piece of tissue paper so that it sticks to the paper, to the wax paper. Take another small square of tissue paper and then press it down so that they're overlapping. And you're going to do this with almost all of your little tissue paper squares so that you make a big collage of colors in front of you. And you can use as many squares as you like. Make sure there's no spaces in between the squares. So as you can see, I'm just layering it on. You could always peel it off and then re-put it on if you mess up, like I did a little bit there. But as you can see, I'm just starting to make a little collage of colors right in the center, and it's going to spread out and making sure they're all overlapping. So I'm going to speed this part up because it's just going to be me pasting down tissue paper squares. But feel free to pause the video and unpause when you're done, and just make sure that you're spreading the glue on the edges of the squares that you already pasted down, and you're not leaving any spaces in between all your tissue paper squares. Alright, and now that I'm done with that, I'll show you what I have here. So I have a nice collage of colors. It doesn't have to be very big, but I've got a nice collage here, but it's still kind of wet. And I've got glue pasted all down on it. And now I'm going to let this dry, and this could be for up to 15 minutes, or you could leave it even overnight if you want. But go ahead and pause the video and unpause when you're ready to move on to the next step. Okay, so my tissue paper collage here has all dried, and you can see I've got a nice collage of colors here, and it's completely dry. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this and peel it off of the wax paper. So this might be a little difficult because there might be some dried glue on the edges, and if the tissue paper rips on the ends, that's okay because you're going to be cutting out a shape anyway. So just grab a little bit of the edge of the paper, and I'm speeding this up because it took me a minute to peel it off, but make sure you're gentle enough when you're getting it all the way off. Pause the video if you need to, and then unpause when you're ready to move on. Okay, so I've got my tissue paper collage peeled off in one piece, and it looks something a little like this. It's kind of an odd shape. You can take your wax paper and put it off to the side. You can throw that away later. And now that I've got this colorful collage here, it's a bit of a weird shape. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to draw with my pencil on it, and I'm going to create a shape that I like. So I think I'm going to draw a heart. You could draw whatever you like. You could draw a star, maybe a face, doesn't matter. It's up to your imagination. You can get as creative as you like. So just very lightly, I'm going to draw a big heart right in the center. You could do maybe two smaller ones depending on how big your collage piece is. And I'm just going to draw a heart right in the center so that it gets most of the tissue paper in the shape. Alright, and now that my shape is drawn, it looks something a little like this. Might be a little hard to see on the camera, but that's okay. But now that I've got that drawn, I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut out the shape I just drew. Okay, and once it's cut out, you now have the completed shape. You can get some tape and then hang it up right outside your window so that all the sun filters through all the colors, and you have a completed sun catcher project. Alright, and we're done. As you can see, this is how mine turned out. I made mine into the shape of a heart, but you can make yours whatever shape you like. It's all up to you, and you can hang them right outside your window, and it's a nice little window decoration. So if you need to, go ahead and rewind the video. If you need to rewatch steps, make sure to post a picture of your finished sun catchers to the art folder, because I'm really interested to see how yours turned out. So I'll see you next week with another video. Bye.